if the property has been sitting on the market, I have all the right to lowball this offer, 200%. So, and that's what is going around. That's what buyers are doing. So yes, if you overprice a property and you sit on it for so long, not only are you going to attract lowball offers, you're also going to probably get less than what you're originally planning to get.
Welcome to Earn the Signature podcast.
I love it.
And today I'm with the one and only, my amazing husband and business partner, Gea Gomez. And today I'm your host, Gea.
Yes, I needed to be hosted.
Well, I would love to, because I have a lot of questions to ask you,
No
especially
problem.
on today's topic. Because to me, just to start off, I think one of the best marketer strategy and listing is you, Mr. Gomez. You are phenomenal.
I appreciate it.
Not because you're my husband, because I see you in action.
And I do what I can.
No one beats you.
Listen, it's been a long journey. 20 years this year since we started into real estate, and you get all the information and it's put it into your mind and my mind, right? And then you take and give from different situations and different clients' situations that we're going through and create a result that hopefully works for everybody.
Absolutely. But today is very important because today there's a huge myth, especially in listings. And we want to talk about listings for all those people that are looking into or they're about to list their property. It's very important that you listen to this very, very important information. And the myth is that we can lower the price later. But the truth is, the first days that property are in the market are the biggest opportunity to get top dollar. So being very strategic when you are pricing that property is very, very important. So what are the mistakes that sellers do when they're pricing on the properties and how to avoid them? So that's today's topic.
When you get a listing on the market, when you're preparing to get a listing on the market, one thing that I've known that in our experience that we've seen is that the first 14 days on the market are the most important. It's not like, let's see what happens in the next month or two. The first 14 days is going to determine how your listing is going to go. And if you do not act accordingly in those first 14 days, you're going to suffer the consequences of really a bad decision. Bad pricing decision, bad marketing decision, bad, presentation decision.
Mm-hmm.
So I always say we have 14 days to wow the audience. This is like a movie premiere. You have to wow the audience the first 14 days. And at the end, it all comes down to three things. Most of the time is price, and price. Unfortunately, that's what it is. Because price is the driver of the market. The driver of the market is what is of somebody willing to pay, and that's what price is. What is a buyer willing to pay for your property when it hits the market? Okay, and that is translated into what has sold in the area, number one. But what does your property have to sustain that value? If your property is inferior, not because it's a bad property, because it doesn't have the upgrades, doesn't have the curb appeal, it needs a big repair, you have to adjust the price according to that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if a house that was better than yours sold for higher and you're trying to get the same price but your house does not match, that is the issue that you're going to have. Is why will somebody pay this price for this property, subject property, your property, seller property, versus somebody else's in today's market? And that is, at the end of the day, one of the pricing mistakes people make is that they try to price it not accordingly to what the property should be priced at.
Absolutely. And I think that is the first mistake. Let's price it the highest that we can, and then we can lower later.
Yes.
Which is strategically for us,
Yes.
is what you say. What is our competition? And it has to do, I think, one of the things that they need to learn to avoid as sellers is wearing that hat. You know, we're listing with our emotion. We're talking about an asset that you've held for so many years. You have memory, your children's, photos and things, and that's the most valuable to you. However, who's going to purchase this? A lot of time, the majority of the time, they don't mind that you put a super expensive granite because they probably want quartz, or that you put an amazing $40,000 blue cabinet when somebody wants them gray, you know, and they want to get the price for all those pride and joy that you've done, but not all of us have the same taste. And I think that's one of the mistakes.
So this is the myth. I'm going to get exactly the amount of money that I put into this house. I just put a $25,000 kitchen. I just did it, and I want to get $25,000 for it. And that is completely incorrect. And a normal seller, all right, we can talk about flips and other stuff, and that's a whole different story. But if you're a traditional seller, to get the amount of money that you're trying to get for that, you have to let the time kind of roll by. So if you did the $25,000 kitchen 4 or 5 years ago, and now your equity has built, you might be able to get it back. If you did it 3 months ago, 6 months, I would say under 12 months. If you've done under 12 months, you're probably gonna get maybe half if you're lucky, because it's not gonna be dollar for dollar. Pool is a great example. All that stuff is great examples, but you have to put a perfect balance of what is your motivation to sell and what is a price that's going to be fair in the market. And that's what the price you should be going on the market is. What buyers would be willing to pay. You cannot be overpriced because you're not going to get the traffic.
So why do you think sellers think that the property is worth more than what the market is speaking?
Emotional attachment. That's number one. You have some, sellers that are really emotionally attached of what all the blood, sweat, and tears they put into the property, and they don't want to, quote unquote. This is one of my favorite seller quotes. I don't want to give it away. I want to get all the money back, and sometimes that's not the case. So, what is the motivation of the sale? Then goes back to that and say, if you're not going to price it correctly, then hold on to it. That's why you should say go. If you are comfortable here and you're just doing an upgrade, and it was just for a better lifestyle, then that's fine. But if your motivation is I need to sell now because of this situation, because of this, then you have to price it correctly. If not, it's not going to sit. So we've been blessed to have recent listings sit on the market 24 hours.
Yep.
And we get multiple offers. It's because we priced it correctly in the right market, and we were drawing attention by not only how the house looks and all that. I know we're talking about price today, but we priced it strategically to receive the best offers. And those two last listings that we're talking about that sold in less than 24 hours, both had one had 9 offers. And we were almost 20,000. We were a little over 20,000 over the asking price, and the other one was 6 offers, I believe, and 15,000 over the asking price. So it works. The strategy does work, and the final price was better and record-setting in that community. Meaning not that we were super low, and that's the reason why you got the offer, Jeremy, because you were super low. No. We price it how it should be, and we actually set a record, and it's sold for more than the last sales that have been in the community. So we did it strategically. And again, this is not, you don't do this overnight. This is all years upon years of strategy and research of what works in the industry this time around.
Absolutely. And another question is that sellers sometimes don't understand is, can overpricing my property actually I'm leaving money on the table? And what is the answer to that?
The answer is most of the time, I would say 80% of the time is yes. Because if you overprice a property and you sit on that overpriced property for a very long time, 2, 3 months, 4 months, then buyers start to wonder, what is wrong with this property? Or they say, well, because it's been on the market for so long, I'm going to offer less because now they should be desperate. And unfortunately, the buyers out there on the streets believe that if the property has been sitting on the market, I have all the right to lowball this offer, 200%. So and that's what is going around. That's what buyers are doing. So yes, if you overprice a property and you sit on it for so long, not only are you going to attract lowball offers, you're also going to probably get less than what you're originally planning to get, because you're going to have to sell at one point or another. Depends on your motivation, but I have seen that all day long and twice on Sundays.
Now, another elephant in the room that everybody before we go into that, that first meeting with our sellers is, oh, I found a market analysis on Zillow. How accurate is an online engine telling you the price of your home in Zillow for that sake?
So these online engines like Zillow, Realtor.com, the famous estimate from Zillow, it is a kind of like I wouldn't say a joke in our industry. It's kind of like a laughing conversation when somebody talks about estimate, because it's an artificial intelligence giving you the recent sales in the area of what that comes out. It's all computer data. It's all artificial intelligence, all AI. So I will tell you that from every couple listings that I've done, or no, whatever, the last, since I can remember my career, and specifically the last 12 months, I have sold houses for probably 10% more than what the Zillow estimate says. Mm-hmm. Anywhere from 5 to 10, let's say 5 to 10% more, depending on, on the value of the house, which proves the point that the Zillow estimate is not accurate. It's better to do it as a manual sense, because you're going to miss properties that are off market. You're going to miss properties that were not recorded on the MLS, and you have to go directly to the source and manually input this and manually grab this. That's how we've been successful in pricing the properties where they should be, to be able to get the right offers and to sell them fast.
And one way that I would compare it, even though we all have, some of us love ChatGPT, that's like when I will compare that, especially when, let's say your head hurt and you ask ChatGPT, and ChatGPT give you a diagnosis of what might be wrong with you, or the next day going to the doctor and going through, the process of what this headache could come. It's the same way, basically, those AI. That's why, AI is replacing a lot, and that's another topic. It's replacing dramatically many jobs, but one thing that cannot replace is the one-on-one touch or that expertise, because it's all data. But being strategic is very, very important when you're going to list that property.
Yeah. I think there was some viral, I don't even remember. I was just hearing about it. Some of the team members were talking about how somebody sold everything through ChatGPT, and they probably sold it for $50,000 less what it should be. But they were proud that they sold it. They didn't need a real estate agent. And again, more power to you if you've done this in the past and you've done it for sale by owner. But at the end of the day, the strategic and the expertise that we bring to the table is really second to none. A good real estate agent will bring that expertise and give you the marketing know-how, the one-on-one interaction, the connections, for heaven's sake, of the network that we're in. I literally sold a home not too long ago that I sold it because of a relationship that I had, and I remembered I said this person was looking for this home in this area, and it was a colleague of mine that was looking, and we didn't get to to do another deal. And I said, hey, I have another one coming up. Do you want this one? And ended up turning into a transaction because of the relationship that we had. So I don't think no computer yet can match that and be able to just have the good real estate agents come up with ways to sell this property.
So if there's one thing a seller should consider in this whole entire episode they're about to price their property, what one thing that you tell them to keep in mind? What would be that one advice?
The one advice is listen to your real estate agent expertise when pricing the property, because we know what's out in the market. We have seen it. We can look at data. We know what's been moving. And if the price was higher, I'll leave you this. Well, the price was higher, we will make more money. Can everybody agree? Because commissions are based on percentages. So if the property was priced higher, we're making more money. So why wouldn't we want to price it higher? We want to price it to sell. When you price it to sell, all parties will benefit. So we tell you, go in, you're in showtime. You have one shot to get those first 14 days, specifically that first weekend on the market, to attract as many buyers as possible, because that's when everybody's like, oh, this is a movie premiere. Like, this is like literally a brand new property. I got to go see it. And you have to wow them not only with your marketing, with the present, how the pictures look, but not only that's how you get people through the door, then also how it looks when it's in person, because sometimes you get catfish, right? Some properties don't look as good as they were on the pictures. So not only are you getting people through the door through the pictures, once they come through the doors, now is the presentation, but price is what's going to bind it all together. Is like, okay, I'm willing to do this. So we have been able to create these sort of situations because of our expertise, where we have buyers bidding against each other and offering more because they like the way that the property presented online. They loved the way that it looked in person, and then they knew that the price was good. And then they saw everybody coming on at the same time in our open houses. In our first open houses, we usually have 10, 15 families, and they see everybody was like, wow, this property's drawing attention because it is a good thing. So listen to a real estate agent when pricing a property, but price it well to your motivation and the needs that you have for your family. At the end of the day, if you follow that, you'll be in a good spot.
I love that. Couldn't end it better. So if you're curious, if you are, wondering what I want to know how much my property costs, find that agent. If you have not found it, we're here. 20 years in real estate. The difference with us, and we're going to say it from the get-go, we will not sugarcoat things. There's a lot of agents over there that tells you what you want to hear. You will hear agents that will tell you the truth of what the market is speaking. Number one is our reputation. Number one is our marketing effort. From when we get that listing, we're already investing money on your property. So we wouldn't want to lose money just to hope that is going to sell. So find that agent, and we're here for you guys. If you're curious, if you need to sell the house, call us, reach out to us, and we would love the opportunity to show time and show you and go work for you and give you top dollar for that property.
That's it.
Love it.
I love it. So don't forget to subscribe, review,
comment,
and hit the notification bell for all of anything that has to do with Earnest Signature Podcast. And we'll see you on the next one.
See you.